Are you ready to listen to a podcast?
Here comes the Playhouse Podcast, thanks to Bradshaw and Bryan Law Offices.
Find, subscribe, and listen.
Did you miss a show? Download the podcast now.
Hey, it's Elena J. So the Playhouse got a call from listener John, who's 57 and likes to date 18-year-olds. Yeah, it gets creepier. You gotta listen to this phone call. Plus, Jason Momoa was recently shirtless, stranded in the desert with a broken down car. Obviously, you'd stop for him, but what celebrity would you not stop for? And Kat's son Liam broke what at a store, and they actually had to pay for it? All of this plus so much more is coming up in the Playhouse Podcast, which starts now.
We have a little bit more of an interesting dynamic on our show than a lot of other radio shows. When you call first, Elena will usually answer and kind of figure out what you're trying to get through, whether it's a contest or you just want to talk to us or something like that. Without describing what John called for early, like right before we got on the air, Elena, can you tell me how you felt after you talked to him and then pushed him into the main studio?
I felt a little creeped out.
Yeah. Like your female spidey sense do a little...
Yeah, a little tingling there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Okay.
We're usually in here for a good, 45 minutes before the show starts. And most people know, like start calling when the show starts. And I see the line light up a little early. And then I can see that Elena's kind of screening the call for a long time. And then the words that pop up on my screen are, he's 57, she's 18. So I'm like, well, this ought to be interesting. And I want to play you guys back the call, and then I want to get your thoughts on it, all right? And I started by saying, hi, John, you're 57?
Correct.
And you're dating a woman how old?
18.
Woo!
No, it's not. It comes with a whole set of hassles.
Like what?
Like people think I'm her grandpa. Why are you kissing her grandpa?
What do you have in common with an 18-year-old at 57?
I think a lot of it had to do with honesty. Calling a rose a rose.
Okay. Explain that a little bit more.
I can't go into a whole lot of detail. This is like the third or fourth 18-year-old in a row now. So
Now, how does it make you feel as of right now, Kat?
His third 18-year-old in a row, huh?
Just be honest.
Honestly, they're 18. They can do what they want,
Okay.
but normally it doesn't start right when they turn 18. I'm just going to be honest with
Elena,
you.
how does it make you feel right now?
Not good.
Okay, here's the rest of it. What do her parents think? Have you met them?
no. But
Oh,
the
okay.
one that I dated before her mom introduced us.
Okay. Now, you feel like this is going a different angle?
Yikes.
Little fork in the road?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
All
I was
right.
engaged once when my girlfriend was 18 and I was 28. Her mom introduced us.
Is it safe to say you're loaded?
No.
You're feeling now?
I'm still stuck with they're 18. They can do what they want.
Okay.
But if you get engaged to someone when they're 18, you knew them before. And then you plan on putting a ring on it and waiting until they're 18 so you know something happened before.
Well, here's where it goes after this. This is great. So you're just a regular dude at 57 dating 18-year-olds that are getting introduced to you by their own mothers.
A lot, yes. And I don't like, I meet somebody and I'm very upfront with the moms and I'm interested in your daughter. She's 16. I'll wait until she's 18. When she's 18,
Oh, my
guess what? I'm
God.
coming
You say
around.
this
And
out loud?
to the mothers in front of the daughters. Just tonight, matter of fact, just this morning, I guess. Now, I just did one. The girl said no, but, I said, well, I told you I'm waiting until you're 18.
Okay.
How do you feel now, Kat?
I feel a little pervy. That's pretty pervy and premeditated.
Okay, here's where it goes from that. I don't even know how to react to that anymore, man. That one got me. Very few times in my life have I been speechless, but holy Hannah.
And I'm honest about it to anybody and everybody that wants to ask, and I'm used to the shock and repulsion. I get called gross and, all kinds of stuff,
Now, if you did
But
something,
no one here asked.
if you did
He
something
called.
and the reaction was shock and repulsion, is that
then
something you could get used to?
No. Isn't that where they're like, that's the definition of insanity? You keep doing things the same way and getting the same reaction, not changing.
Oh, there's
it.
more, guys.
But I'm also now this is the part that's the kicker is I'm a religious man. Yeah, but I don't believe in I don't believe in sex before marriage.
I don't believe that for a minute.
So you're dating these girls, but never ever getting to home plate.
No, never.
So he's doing other stuff.
Believe that?
Doing other stuff.
Do you believe that it doesn't end?
I might believe that he's not having sex, but I don't believe that he's not doing other stuff.
He has a little bit more.
Actually, it causes a lot of fights.
I have so many questions, but so little time. We definitely have to revisit this.
Right.
See ya. That's where I bailed. I was like, I don't know what else to say.
I think as a father of a daughter,
I have a
that
16-year-old
age,
daughter, and I was wigging hard at that point.
Yeah. You know what moments are weird is when someone says something so outlandish, but then they want you to like feel the same way, but in your mind you're like really off.
Kimberly, you heard that call. What are your thoughts?
Well, you see, my fiance and I are 13 years apart.
Okay.
But there comes a point where he didn't know me as a child. So we knew each other as adults, met as adults, and it's still awkward sometimes.
Sure.
We talk about the past, and it's still awkward. But when you actually go for someone that's like, his brother has 15-year-old kids, and I never once looked at him and went, oh, you know what? I'd really like to date him.
I'm going to wait you out a couple years.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait till you're 18, and then you look like a good pick.
That's the part that got me. Can you imagine? Kim, you have kids right now?
I do.
How old is your oldest kid?
3 and a 9-year-old.
Okay, so let's say your 9-year-old becomes a 16-year-old beautiful girl, and you're out to lunch with her, and some guy walks up and says, "Hey, listen, I just want to tell you, I really think your daughter's beautiful, and I'd be willing to wait till she's 18." How do you even handle that?
You say, you know what? Let's talk more in the parking lot about it, and then
Dial
you'll get my
911.
message. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd get up, take her, and leave,
Yeah.
and then pray to God that her dad don't find him.
Oh, there's the other
Well,
side.
what got me was back there. He said that he just said it this morning, and she said no, but then he still said, "I'm going to wait until you're 18."
That's
I mean,
creepy.
that is so creepy. That is a predator.
Yeah,
when you wait and you stalk, and you wait and you stalk, that's a predator.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, if she's 18, shows interest, whatever. People can do whatever they want.
Right.
It's on you.
At that point. But if they say no and you keep pursuing, that's no longer,
That's what I was saying, like
I
with
don't
the
know who you were
18.
talking to, but you might want to check his background.
Some people say you don't know what you want when you're 18. I was 18, dating a 38-year-old man. Oh, I knew what I wanted. I'm going to tell you that. I knew that I wanted to be with him, and some people might call him a perv, but I knew what I was doing. When you're 18, you kind of have a better
right.
idea, but when you're 16 and someone has to ask permission from your mom, that's weird.
It was weird. All right. I appreciate you checking in here,
Yeah.
Kim. I hope you have a good rest of the day, all right?
No problem. You guys as well.
Take care.
Sometimes you just...
I had to play that back for you guys because I at first I was like, what? It was interesting, and then I was like, ugh.
Yeah, no, I think those are definitely inside thoughts. I don't think he should talk to anybody anymore about that.
Yeah.
Because I would say
Especially-
9 times out of 10, no mom will say, sure, we'll wait a couple of years, then you can go after my daughter. That's some dark web stuff.
Even if those are your thoughts.
Yeah.
Calling the radio station.
Very weird.
Playhouse question of the day from Elena J.
If you could choose a reality show to be on, which one would it be? So there's a new one that's in the works. It's in space. So it's called Space Hero. And so basically these people, they battle it out to see who can make it to space. So they'll undergo all the training, have all the challenges, and then the one person at the end will be selected to go to the International Space Station for 10 days.
You know who's mad about this? Are real astronauts.
Yeah.
Because they work their entire
Yeah.
life to get to go into space, and now some idiot like me is going to be on a reality show. I'm going to make it through the underwater training, and they're going to ship me up to the space station.
I can't wait for the news to check in with you, and you're like, floating by the camera, losing all the nuts and bolts that go to the ISS.
Don't touch anything!
Don't touch a thing. He's drinking his pee again. What is happening?
Where's the tang? All right, so Elena, you got to start then. If you were going to be on any reality show, what would yours be?
I would choose The Circle. I don't know if you guys watched it on Netflix, but
No.
it was like a social media thing. So they have all these people go on there. Some of them are catfishes. Some of them are actually themselves, but they post photos. They talk via, like texting, messaging or whatever.
They text?
And, yeah.
Okay.
And so so you don't actually get to talk like face to face to these people. So you don't know who's real and who's not real. And then the person at the end who is the most likable wins the cash prize. And I think I'd be pretty good at that.
Weird game of like two truths and a lie almost. You're like trying to
Almost.
figure out who's who.
Yeah.
This sounds so confusing.
It's really good. You should watch it. All right. There's like 3 different ones.
Yeah, I'll
There's-
see you there.
It's really good. But no, I think I'd be good at it. I think I'm a likable person.
You think you'd be good at not talking to people? Yeah, I think, that'd be
No,
great.
you have to talk to them. Or else you get voted out. Check it out.
That sounds horrible.
Don't judge.
What if you have to organize and clean? You'll win. Crazy.
For me, I think Naked and Afraid. But then the other part is like, I really love food. And I just don't, I think the challenge would be great. But I've become very spoiled. I've got an awesome sleep number bed in a temperature controlled home. And I like food a lot. And I haven't seen a whole lot of craft beer, areas in the Sahara when they're camping.
Yeah.
So I don't want to do that. I decided instead I want to go below deck.
Below deck is
I want to be on that
amazing.
show. I want to be on a yacht in the middle of nowhere with hot people.
Yeah. There's just one thing that gets me is how small the beds are and how cramped those corners
Yeah,
are
I'm a little
for the
bit of a
yachties.
bigger guy. I'd be all right. I'd figure it out.
Okay. But then you like Johnny Damon was the last one on board for Below Deck Med.
Yeah.
The baseball player.
Sure.
And he gets so wasted and he's like, throw me some. And so he's off the back of the yacht and they're tossing him some balls and he's
Trying
just
to hit him?
missing. And then he jumps into the water and he gets stung by all these jellyfish that are in
Oh,
there.
no way.
So they have to pee on him and put some vinegar water on him. And that's how I want
That
every
sounds
yacht trip
great.
to end. I
Yeah.
know.
So then Kat said, well, my reality show would be having something to do with me being elbow deep in a lady cow.
That's right.
Tell me more.
Okay, so you think I would say Real Housewives. I
Yeah.
know that you thought that I would go there. I don't want drama in my life. I want to be on the zoo. I could watch the show all day long. Have you seen it, Elena? It's like the Bronx Zoo.
No.
And they follow all the people that work at the Bronx Zoo. And so, that's the way they talk to the animals.
Look at that koala.
Yeah, so they just had to do a tooth extraction on Albert the chinchilla, and so they're talking to like this.
I can't.
And then it's so cute, the little oxygen mask that they put on the chinchilla's face. I'm into that. If you ask me what I would do instead of radio, it would be something with animals. They found a plastic cup inside Mila, the tiger, so they had to quick do a surgery on her. And then take away all the plastic cups at the zoo because everybody's throwing plastic cups into the enclosure. And then
Tiger's going to eat you.
I look amazing in khaki. So I only find plus sides of being on this reality show. So the zoo.
Weird news.
A Wisconsin man puzzled after making a strange discovery while combing a local beach. So he was there to find treasures and he was walking around. His name is Jimmy. He's 47 years old and he was finding random items.
Minding his own damn business.
Found something balled up, wrapped in aluminum foil. Turns out he discovered an entire brain. There was a brain,
Whoa.
there was Chinese money, and there were flowers. So police sent the brain to the medical examiner's office. They still don't know if it's human or animal. How is that possible? Are the brains that closely?
Is this a cultural thing we
alike?
don't understand? I mean, is this something that in an Asian culture?
Maybe a dog died. They took the brain. They sent it out into the
Well,
water.
you know how
with
Egyptians
money.
would put a tomb together with all the things they were supposed to have after the afterlife.
Right.
Maybe this was the way that you do it with a dog or a human, and you ball up the brain and you put in some jewels and stuff. And
I smell a Google search. I'll check it out.
All right, Starbucks. Okay, now who's in the Starbucks?
We met at Starbucks. Starbucks.
See that Starbucks down there?
Could really go for a Starbucks.
I heard Starbucks.
All right, when you're ready for a drink and you're ready to shell out a bunch of ones, for just a glass of tea, you want to make sure that it doesn't burn your privates off, right? Like that's my
Usually.
number one concern. This guy in California suing Starbucks. That's what always happens when they hand you your tea.
I thought
and
you
they
couldn't
say,
do this anymore after the girl, the hot coffee at McDonald's thing. I thought you couldn't sue a coffee maker anymore.
I mean, normal people would say, my bad. You know, I dropped the tea on my privates and my hands and my stomach. But this guy named Tommy, his attorney says making love is now very awkward and painful for his client. But then he paired it with this statement. Tommy can no longer play piano with his injuries. So I'm going to say the first one doesn't have to worry about it too much. But yeah, he's walking around.
Oh, are you saying piano players like Billy Joel don't get action?
You got to make it to a level. But yeah, I'm saying if you play piano, you're not getting any. Just going to put it out there for the world. And that is what's weird.
I had 2 jokes that I wanted to use so bad right there. Both of them.
Roses on your...
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. That was the first one. Second one was even better, but both of them end with the "You're fired" logo.
Nice.
I'm just going to let it go. So you're rolling down the freeway and you get just outside of LA and you see a car pulled over. The hood is up. There's steam coming out of the radiator. And who's standing there?
Shirtless Jason Momoa.
Listen, I have a staunch reputation for loving women, but I would even stop for a shirtless Jason Momoa.
Yeah, I mean, he was in the desert. You know, he was hot. It was 110 degrees. So obviously he took off his shirt. But I want to know, what celebrity would you not stop for?
So as the show was starting, Elena brought this up, and Kat immediately says, Drew Barrymore. And I was like, but that's America's sweetheart.
I love her. I love her acting, but there are just when she talks, that's all I focus on when she... Here, check this out.
Are you making fun of the way she talks?
It's just like it's like weird with it. Play that.
It's cold in here.
She's so cute.
There must be some Taurus in the atmosphere. I said, oh, yo, yo. Ice, ice, ice.
I think she's just living in her own little... Was she the celebrity that used to eat her baby's food, chew it up, and then spit it in their
No,
mouth?
that was Alicia Silverstone.
Oh, that's okay.
But, yeah, I just don't know if I could get past that because she'd say things with S's in it, like gas or steering wheel or thanks. And I'd be like, oh, you're on your own.
You're so
Chuck
petty.
the deuce up and I'd call her a
Call
cab.
AAA?
Yeah. Someone's on their way. But please, help me. Please, you're here.
Stop. She does not sound like Sylvester the cat.
It's not like a, but it's
Like she has a retainer in is what she sounds like.
Yeah, just a little bit. So I just can't get over that. Derek actually called it to my attention. So every time I listen or watch her, I'm
okay,
like, oh.
be less petty. Elena, who would you not stop for? Which celebrity would you absolutely drive by and be like, never?
Kanye West. Oh. I couldn't. I feel like he would just go on a rant and I'd be standing there for hours and then he would like get up and pee on the car or something. Who knows? Like it would just be bad.
I don't know about him as a human being. I think he's so selfish. I think he's a really selfish person.
I think he's fighting a lot of demons.
Mm-hmm.
I just think he's not right.
I think when you have that many kids and a lot of people counting on you, you got to take medication or do what you can to help yourself because he's just a mess.
When Elena brought this up, the first person I thought of was, and I don't know what this says about me, the one person, if I saw the hood up, steam coming out of the radiator, that I wouldn't stop for, Carrot Top.
You know how old he is?
No, but I would be afraid he'd steal all my steroids and then beat me.
Carrot Top is 55 years old.
There's no way.
He was born in 1965. 55 years. He's older than my mother, Carrot Top is. How crazy
still
is that?
Jacked, too.
I know.
So who wouldn't you stop for?
All right, so some people saying I drive past Charlie Sheen.
Oh.
I'd drive past Charlie Sheen 8 years ago. I think now I'd stop and pick him up. Joe Biden, Tom Cruise.
Right. I knew somebody was going to make this political right away.
Someone said...
Tom Cruise? You would drive past Tom Cruise?
Fran Drescher said Brandy. This person said LeBron James. I don't know how much I'd have to talk to him about. I don't follow
have anything
basketball.
Bad to say about LeBron.
I definitely wouldn't pick up his wife. I hear nasty things about her.
Really?
Gabrielle Union. Carrie Underwood, they just drive by. That's not nice.
Carrie Underwood? Oh, my God.
Oop, found another one I wouldn't stop for.
Carrie Underwood's an angel, by the way, guys.
Elena, you're going to be mad at me. Kristen Stewart. This one said Kristen Stewart because everything about her, especially her dumb face.
What?
That's not nice.
Her dumb face.
7,500.
She was hot.
I think Kat's right, though. She always looks like she's itching. Like, I
Yeah.
feel like she has lice all the time.
Yeah.
She's just always picking at something. I feel like I'd have to be a monkey and just kind of pick them all out
It's so
for her.
awkward, and then it comes off rude.
We know that you're like a candle family.
Yes, I love candles. I always have one going. It just, I don't know, I just love it. So every time I go shopping, I always stock up on 2 or 3. And so I brought Liam, and he always wants to smell and pick them out, and that's fine.
He's a kid. He's inquisitive.
But on Tuesday was his 3rd broken candle, and glass everywhere.
Was he wearing mittens?
Well, I'm always like, let me hold it. And then he's like, no, let me hold it. I want to get my nose just right up in there. And so the first time was at World Market, and he was 4. So whatever, he's 4. It happens. Glass everywhere. And then he does that embarrassed face, but it's like smiling, but not. Like he's about to cry, but don't cry. And then the next one was at Target last year. And so I'm like, don't touch glass candles anymore. I will just hold it up to your nose. You can go ahead and get a whiff that way. So we're standing in the aisle at Walmart, and I'm checking out the candles. I'm smelling. He's like, let me smell. This woman comes around the corner with her cart, hits the metal shelving that's there, scares him. He bumps it with his chest. Down goes the glass candle. So that goes everywhere. I've never had to pay for the previous broken
they
candles.
never made you pay.
They made me pay this time.
I think that's right. You should have.
$7.97.
So did you pick it up and take it home with you?
And no.
Yeah, I would have put it.
Broken.
I would have put it in another jar. You can still burn that candle.
Oh no, I did not.
My wife would have
But
put this in a soup bowl and burnt it.
Really?
Yeah.
He knocked over an entire display of Cheez-Its one time. Hundreds of boxes went everywhere. I don't like to shop with anybody. I
You
like
put
to
him in
shop
the
alone.
cart. Can't you strap him in?
I know. Well, he's 8. I don't want to be that person that has to corral her 8-year-old.
Pacifier. Strap him in the cart. You're good to go.
I just know when I have him, I have such anxiety because, like, most of the time he's pretty good, but then he's just like, he could be walking and then all of a sudden everything falls, you know? And I'm just like, ugh. But I want to know, last place you were at and something broke. Maybe you had to pay for it, which is never fun.
I don't really. I'm usually. I feel like I'm pretty coordinated, but I was test driving. I was 19 or 20. Yeah, 20. So I think it was the summer between my sophomore and junior years in college, and I test drove a car that was a little bit out of my price range.
Yeah.
And it got dinged. I didn't ding it, but it got dinged, and so they had to, get my insurance covered. We were in a parking lot, and we were switching drivers.
Yeah.
And my dad wanted to drive it. He was with me, and it got backed into. And they're like, "Well, this is your insurance."
Yeah.
And I guess you sign that away when you have to, when you go to test drive a car.
Yep. So what broke? Something fell. Your kid bumped into something. You had to end up paying for it.
Elena, you have any of these issues with Avery yet? Has he broke stuff at the store?
No, he stays in the cart for the most part.
Lock him down?
So, yep. We tell him hands in the cart, so we're all good. But I remember going to Spencer's one time with my little sister.
Spencer's.
And you know how they have I don't know if they still have them, but they used to have those big, they're almost like snow globes, but then you'd put your hand on it. And it would be like electricity. Yeah. So she put her hand on it and it cracked and broke. I don't know if she had the force that day or what happened, but it just went.
Smashed it?
Yeah. And I remember her and I just looking at each other and we're like, oh crap, because my mom was in another store and we're like, oh my gosh, she is going to kill us.
The electricity is going to get out.
Luckily they didn't make us pay for it or anything. I mean, we were just like, she just legit just put her hand on it and just.
I was very surprised I had to pay for it. I'm like, $7. How much? Couldn't you chalk it up to someone, like a worker accidentally dropping it? I thought it was really weird.
What do they call it? It's not shrinkage, is it?
Just damaged merchandise. There's a whole pile in back, I'm sure, of damaged merchandise, things that are dented and you can't sell it. Come on.
That's what you break at the store. You broke it, you had to pay for it.
Elise texted, I was at Pottery Barn in Chicago with my 9-year-old and he sat on a ceramic decorative sheep, snapped it in half. We had to pay $675.
Woo-hoo!
Pottery Barn, not cheap.
Well, sheep will get you every time.
Podcast. Download the podcast.
The Playhouse Podcast is made possible thanks to Bradshaw and Bryan Law Offices. Catch the live show weekdays from 5:30 to 9 on 104.7 KCLD. Now, share this with a friend. Immediately.
And hey, we have more podcast episodes available, so go check them out right now. Do it. Come on, do it. Seriously, do it.